And Akarsh Khurana has this wonderful knack of adaptation. And
Yeah.
as a director, what to you is the beautiful aspect of this particular adaptation from the original text by Anthony Shaffer?
So I guess Akash, Kumud, and Sumeet, these are the three most attractive thing about this play, as far as I am concerned.
Saanp Seedhi comes to the Bal Gandharv Rang Mandir 22nd and 23rd of March, 7:30 p.m. Tickets are live now on District by Zomato. It's an AADYAM Aditya Birla Group initiative, and from me, Hrishi K, please welcome Shubhro, Kumud, and Sumeet, who are an integral part of the play. Shubhro, of course, directs this time around. It's a very interesting play because it's based on Sleuth by Anthony Shaffer and it's adapted in Hindi by Akarsh Khurana. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
Hi, Rishi.
I,
Good.
I,
बहुत
I
अच्छा.
remember I remember Sumeet seeing a movie in 2007 2008 in which the great Michael Caine
And Jude
played
Law.
played Kumud Mishra's character, and
Yeah.
Jude Law played your character, and I was bowled over because it had mind games. And then somebody told me that in the 70s there was another film made in which Michael Caine had played the older role. Were you
The
familiar with
younger
this
role.
script? The younger role. I beg your pardon.
Yeah,
So, Sir Lawrence Olivier playing the older role.
Older role. Yeah.
So,
right.
were you aware of this play in play form, Sumit, or were you aware of it in movie form?
I was aware of it in play form because I think another 10, 15 years back, there was this conversation of me doing this play. Someone wanted to direct it, and we were thinking of doing some kind of adaptation, but for some reason it didn't make, we couldn't do it. And that's also the time when I ended up watching the film to just get an idea of what did they do with the play script, because it for me it was a very very theatrical piece. It was a very performance piece, so I was very curious to know how did they make a movie out of it.
You know, Kumud, it's very interesting that throughout the play, it's just most of the time, it's just these two people on stage. And uska ek alag hi maza hai. I mean, I'm not saying that large ensemble casts where people keep making entries and exits are no fun. That has a different element of fun. But the fact that you have to have this talmail with one character, which is Sumeet Vyas's character, what kind of challenges does that bring in a theatrical piece like this?
चैलेंजेस तो मतलब कोई भी आप नाटक करते हैं, कोई भी कैरेक्टर करते हैं, तो उसके अपने चैलेंजेस होते हैं. कंफर्ट एक जरूरी होता है जब आप अपने दोस्त के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, जिनको आप सालों से काम करते हुए देख रहे हैं, जिनके साथ आपने उनके डायरेक्शन में आपने काम किया है और उनके साथ एक्ट किया हुआ है, तो आप एक दूसरे को समझते हैं. और वो समझना कई बार फायदेमंद होता है, कई बार उसका नुकसान भी होता है, क्योंकि आप बहुत ज्यादा एक सुविधा वाले स्पेस में चले जाते हैं. इस नाटक में क्या है कि मैं जो कैरेक्टर प्ले कर रहा हूँ वो मेरी पर्सनालिटी से बिल्कुल अलग है, ऐसा मैं मानता हूँ. हो सकता है, पता नहीं, मेरे अंदर कहीं दबा कुचला अनिल वाधवा बैठा हो, तो वो उससे इनकार नहीं है. तो ये मेरे लिए एक चैलेंजिंग, और सुमित के साथ एक एक जिसको कहते हैं ना, एक जुगलबंदी है, मजेदार सी जुगलबंदी है. हम एक दूसरे को समझते हैं अभिनेता के तौर पे, और उससे ज्यादा इंसान के तौर पे. हमको तो हम बेसिकली हम दोस्तों का समूह है जो साथ में काम करना पसंद करते हैं, तो वो मजेदार है. तो या कई बार ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल हो जाते हैं, तो डायरेक्टर हैं ये बताने के लिए कि भैया थोड़ा सा अपने आप को रोकिए, ये सारी चीजें छोड़ दीजिए, ये कीजिए. तो या ये
And Shubhro, in that aspect, I think Hindi, Hindustani, Urdu, these are languages that are a lot more descriptive. अंग्रेजी में आपने टाइटल दे दिया स्लूथ, बट एक्चुअली इफ यू वॉच स्लूथ, it is a snakes and ladders game. Somebody is falling, somebody is rising, somebody is again falling, somebody is rising. So kitna appropriate ye title hai, Saanp Seedhi. And Akarsh Khurana has this wonderful knack of adaptation. And
Yeah.
as a director, what to you is the beautiful aspect of this particular adaptation from the original text by Anthony Shaffer?
So when we were thinking of adapting it, At that time, requesting Akash to adapt it was a conscious decision. Because we wanted Akash's touch on the text while the adaptation happens. Uh, so he contemporizes it, he infuses it with a lot of humor, very interestingly. Because if the versions that you were talking about, अगर वो versions आप देखेंगे, so they are very somber pieces and they're very intense, cerebral pieces. Both the film version and the earlier version also, because the script is like that. So we wanted a departure from that. We wanted it to be slightly out in the open, a version which is slightly more, sort of peppered with humor, and then the mind game. So I guess working, of course, creatively speaking, it's very satisfying to have uh, two very good, very good, very experienced actors to be doing whatever you want them to do. It's creatively challenging also because both of them have wealth of experience, so they also bring to the table a lot of questions, and it's not like working with a bunch of youngsters where you say, okay, aise kar lo. Here, it becomes a more of a collaborative effort, and I really like that. We have worked for the longest time with people where, the director-actor relationship in theater a lot of times becomes a student-teacher relationship. Uh, I didn't want that. I'm not comfortable with that. That is why it's very satisfying to work with actors who understand their craft, who are very experienced with their craft. And whatever you're thinking, whatever you're trying to sort of articulate, they understand it and are able to convert it into real action. Uh, so I guess Akash, Kumud, and Sumeet, these are the three most attractive thing about this play, as far as I am concerned.
So, Sumit, he made a very important point. He said, as opposed to the Therao and the drama, this one has a lot more wit, which means sharper dialogues, isn't it? And
Yes.
and in that aspect, I think Mayank Tiwari, which is the character that you're playing, starts off by with a little bit of a, oh, I'm meeting a slightly senior person. Uh, what do I expect from this person? And then
Mm.
slowly comes into his own and starts
Yes.
showing his own skin. And that sharper dialogue, those witty dialogues must have really helped.
Yes, it does. And that's what we all like about Akash's writing also, that there's a very fine balance in the amount of humor that he brings. It's not over the top, it's not out of place. It's very, very measured, which is what makes it fun, which is also very hard to do. Uh, And yeah, I mean, it comes in handy. And we, in fact, more often than not, find things that are not funny on paper. We find them the funniest. That is a tendency that all three of us have to a large extent. So, which is why we love rehearsing with each other. In fact, the bigger challenge is to create uh, some sort of unfamiliarity with Kumud on stage. We've known each other for so many years, and in so many ways that when you enter a stage and you see him, how do you trick your brain into thinking that you don't know this person, you're meeting him for the first time? How do you do it so convincingly that people feel that, oh, these two people have never met? Uh,
नाइस कुमुद, ये जेलसी एक ऐसा भाव है, एक ऐसा इमोशन है जो लोग कहते हैं कि व्हेन यू गेट ओल्डर, यू गेट वाइजर, यू गेट ओवर जेलसी. दिस स्क्रिप्ट एंड दिस प्ले इज अ प्राइम एग्जाम्पल कि आप चाहे जिस कितनी भी एज के हों, जो भी आपकी उम्र हो, जेलसी इज अ वेरी ओवर राइडिंग ह्यूमन इमोशन. और अनिल वाधवा ऑब्वियसली इससे जूझ रहा है. सो टॉक टू मी लिटिल अबाउट दैट, अबाउट दिस वेव ऑफ इमोशंस, द अप्स एंड डाउन्स इन सांप सीढ़ी.
हाँ, ये इमोशन से हम कभी निजात नहीं पाते हैं। हम सिर्फ अपने आप को जिसको कहते हैं ना कि जब हम जवान होते हैं तो उसका रिएक्शन स्ट्रांग होता है, क्योंकि हमारे हम फिजिकली स्ट्रांग होते हैं, हमारा दिमाग बहुत एक्टिव होता है और हर चीज बहुत तेज चलती है। एक उम्र के बाद वो सारी चीजों को हम रैशनलाइज करके हम, क्योंकि हमारे पास इतनी ताकत नहीं कि मैं उठ के दौड़ जाऊं। दिमाग से मैं दौड़ सकता हूँ, कि दिमाग से मैं अभी भी 100 मीटर से 11 सेकंड में कर सकता हूँ, शरीर तो नहीं करेगा ना। तो आपके अंदर जो है, प्रोबेबली अगर ये यंग होता और यही घटना घटी होती तो ये मयंक को घर नहीं बुलाता, ये खुद ही उसके पास जाता और कान के नीचे बजाता। अब मतलब ये उम्र का ही वो है कि बोल रहा अब तू मेरे कंफर्ट जोन में आ, मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ, मैं बात करूंगा। एंड फिर क्या होता है ना, आप उस इमोशन को एंजॉय करना शुरू कर देते हैं, है ना। आपको जेलसी से बहुत फर्क पड़ नहीं रहा है, आपके पास समय काटने के लिए भी एक इमोशन है, ये भी एक इमोशन है जो आपकी जिंदगी काटने में आपका साथ दे रहा है। आपका मकसद लाइफ का खत्म हो चुका है, आप सक्सेसफुल फिल्म मेकर रहे होंगे, जिस तरह का भी काम आपने किया है आपका पीक हो चुका है, आप ये मान चुके हैं कि जो मेरा बेस्ट था वो बीत चुका है, चाहे रिलेशनशिप में हो चाहे काम के लेवल पे हो। तो अब क्या है कि आप जो है ना, आप अपने लिए क्रिएट कर रहे हैं सिचुएशन जहां पे आप उसका सुख भोग सके। तो ये जो पूरा जो गेम है इसका, इसमें ये भी सबकॉन्शियसली एक हिस्सा है जहां पे कि ये जो है ना मेरा एक्साइटमेंट है, तमाम उस जो अंडर करंट है जहां पे ईगो है, जेलसी है, ये सारी चीजें हैं। उसके बाद कहीं ये भी है कि मैं इस घटना को अपने लिए कितना प्रोडक्टिव बना सकता हूँ,
हाँ,
है ना। और बिना बिना फिजिकली अपने आप को टैक्स किए हुए, मतलब मैं थकना नहीं चाहता भाई, है ना। मैं बहुत बहुत इजी तरीके से चीजों को कर लेना चाहता हूँ। तो ये है, तो आप उसका सुख भोग रहे हैं वो करने का। मतलब अगर आप ये इन कैरेक्टर्स के की गहराई में जाएं तो बहुत ही लेयर्ड कैरेक्टर्स हैं। ऊपर से तो आपको बहुत ही
करेक्ट।
अनिल वादा बहुत सतही दिखेगा, लेकिन असल में बहुत ही कमाल का लेयर्ड कैरेक्टर है।
Sumit, what is it that you like about Mayank Tiwari? Something about Mayank Tiwari that you like?
Uh, especially about Mayank, that on the face of it, he comes across as this very earnest and naive, uh, good person, so to say. But he retorts. He
He
doesn't
can
just
turn the
take it and go.
tables. He can turn
Yeah,
the.
he turns the tables. He takes that action without worrying about consequences for once. I guess that's a bigger difference between people who are shrewder and people who are not shrewd and naive and bhola, so to say. Because shrewder people, on some level, are willing to take that risk, are
Correct.
willing to react, are willing to take that chance and bear the consequences. And bhola people are often scared and hesitant about doing anything or reacting on a certain situation, retorting, because they're always afraid of the consequences. They're always measuring what if, you know. I like the fact that he decides to do something about it, irrespective of the consequences.
Lovely. My last question is to actually both of you can take it, Kumud as well as Shubhro. It's more a Adyam question. I mean, it's very important for theatre to have corporate support. Secondly, I like that D for Drama will ultimately own this piece of work. पहले आपने आद्यम के लिए कुछ performances किए, उसके बाद you are free to take it wherever you want in the country or abroad and tour with D for Drama because it belongs to you. And I think that's very commendable and is much needed in the world of theatre. So, from D for Drama's perspective, how important ventures like Adyam, Aditya Birla Group Initiative is, Kumud Shubhro.
बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हम जो इंडिपेंडेंट ग्रुप्स हैं जहाँ पे आपके पास एक बजट होता है, एक लिमिटेड बजट होता है, उसके तहत आप काम करते हैं। आद्यम आपको एक इंटेलिजेंस देता है जहाँ पे आप उस तरह का काम कर सकते हैं जो असल में आप रेपेटरी कंपनी के साथ ही कर पाते हैं, जहाँ पे उनके पास एक इतना बड़ा बजट होता है। तो आद्यम जो बजट देता है वो बहुत ही कमाल का बजट देता है, और आप उस तरह से एक अपने अपने इमेजिनेशन को दौड़ा सकते हैं। और उसके बाद खूबसूरती है कि अगर आपने नाटक अच्छा बनाया है और तो उसको आप रन कर सकते हैं। तो ये बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट है। मतलब अगर आप साल में 6 नाटक प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, 5 नाटक प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, तो आप सोचिए कि आप कितने एक्टर्स हैं, कितनी टीम्स हैं जो उन नाटकों को कैरी ऑन कर सकते हैं, चला सकते हैं। और ये मुझे लगता है कि और भी कॉर्पोरेट्स को घुसना चाहिए इस तरह से। सरकार की तरफ से आर्ट को हमेशा सपोर्ट तो चाहिए ही होता है, किसी भी तरह का। जनता का सपोर्ट चाहिए होता है, सिस्टम का सपोर्ट चाहिए होता है। और मजेदार चीज क्या है कि आर्ट को जो सपोर्ट करते हैं, आर्ट फाइनली उन्हीं के खिलाफ बात करती है। लेकिन मजेदार है, मतलब बहुत बहुत मजेदार है। मतलब हम हमारे लिए तो बहुत फायदेमंद है ये।
Shubhro, you want to add to that?
So if I can, focus on a slightly different aspect. Of course, I agree
Sure.
with all that Kumud said, and these are very important factors like the funding that comes in. Also, apart from the funding, there is this huge support system that AADYAM provides in terms of marketing the product, in terms of publicity, in terms of sort of a production support, which otherwise we would have to hustle amongst each other and within the group and try to, bring about certain this thing. So that also is a huge support. And also, but it also, what it does is it sort of opens you up to a larger audience, the audience that you might not be used to catering to.
True.
So there is a bigger audience, which also entails a certain responsibility upon you, that a play then should be made in a way where a wider gamut of audience is able to enter the play much easily. The play needs to be slightly more accessible to them, because who knows, a lot of people might be coming and watching your play for the first time. They might be watching a piece of theater, and you want them to come back. So there's a kind of an evangelization process towards theater which is going on. You, so I guess that responsibility is there on all the theater makers who are doing AADYAM plays. They try to reach to a wider group of audience, which is great. I think the audience is what ultimately is what we need. So that's
Well
a great
said.
thing.
Well said. AADYAM and Aditya Birla Group Initiative presents D for Drama Saanp Seedhi, 22nd and 23rd of March, 7:30 p.m. Bal Gandharv Rang Mandir in Bandra. Tickets are live now on District by Zomato. It stars Kumud Mishra. Sumeet Vyas is directed by Shubhrajyoti. Please go give it a lot of love. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
94.3 Radio 1.